So introduce yourself. You're Rett.
Yeah,
what
Rett
do you do?
Larson. I am the strength coach for the Chinese women's volleyball team.
Awesome. And so you guys had a little bit of success in the 2016 Olympics. Elaborate a little bit about how you kind of helped the girls out and got them prepared.
Yeah. So in preparation, we were on a roll because we'd won the World Cup the year before, and that was necessary because even though we just worked with them for about 4 months before that, we got kind of the necessary buy-in that it takes to take over a Chinese team. The Chinese are immediately really skeptical of any Western stuff because they've always had a modicum of success with whatever they're doing, and it's tough for them to come in and stop doing 10 by 10 back squats 4 days a week, which was the only leg exercise that the Chinese women had ever done up to that point, except for maybe some lunges. So compared to the level of sophistication here, you can make huge strides with almost any Chinese team just by omission, just taking out the stuff that's breaking them, just taking out the really silly, stupid exercises that not only are a waste of time, but at the volumes they do them are potentially detrimental. And so, slowly taking those away. There are some bullshit exercises that they love, and you leave those in for a little bit. But as you gain street cred, we just slowly start working in a more balanced strength and conditioning approach that would be totally normal here and even very basic here, where we would just switch them to a few more unilateral exercises, a few more hip hinge exercises, getting things like deadlifts done, teaching them. And once we finished that first cycle with the World Cup, we were able to then go in and implement some velocity-based training, which was a huge my use of push bands for the Olympic run is probably the most significant change that I made that helped a team that at this point in their careers couldn't stand squatting heavy anymore because they just associated it with patellar pain.
Yep.
And so being able to lighten them, switch things to speed-based, and the feedback in the gym was just night and day. The girls were celebrating again. I wasn't getting girls off the rack the first time they ever squatted 100 kilos to the ground. They were never getting off the rack, racking it and smiling and high-fiving and telling all their friends. But the moment they would hit new speed numbers, we'd be dancing around the weight room because they competed against each other, and it was really, really impactful. And then from there, it was just like doing what we all do, which is just kind of manipulating variables, letting as a lot of guys say, letting the micro dictate the macro, which is a big thing that we have to do because the Chinese training volumes are so huge that you just never know week to week what the next problem or deficiency or weakness is going to be in the team. And so we're always being a slightly reactive, but with an overall kind of training flow that was pretty much linearly periodized to get us ready to go when we got to Rio.
That is awesome. All right, last question. You mentioned that you're a pretty big deal in China.
You said that. I did not.
How popular are we talking? If you get off a plane, are people just waiting to get your autograph?
Let's say I know that I'm in the very rare spot where I have this 15 minutes of fame in a very small pool, which is China. I guess it's a big pool.
I was gonna say.
But it is pretty fun. I get the occasional free taxi ride. If I was totally out of money and needed to get something for free, I could start dropping names and pretty much get anything I want.
That is fantastic. Thanks, dude.